Hello and welcome back to the Hairy Housewife YouTube channel. You beautiful at home, and it has been a while. I used the same excuse in the last video, but the bloody weather has been awful. We've had wind, we've had rain, and then we've had sun, and it's been too hot to come out and even wash the car. So it's been difficult to come out and film. However, I'm here, I'm back, and I've got so many goodies to show you in the next few months, hopefully, as long as the weather plays ball. Now cast your mind back to that cracking little 3-inch polisher, that Batoca S4. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That machine polisher is an absolute corker. This time, I'm back with the Batoca S2, the S4's bigger brother. This is a 5-inch cordless machine polisher. Now, if it's anything like its little brother, this is going to be fantastic. Now, this thing costs a whopping £90. £90 for a 5-inch cordless polisher that comes with 2 batteries and accessories. Can it really be any good for £90? Let's find out. I mean, how bad can it be? Now, if you're to receive this box in the post, there's no hiding what's inside. It's quite clearly just branded as car polisher. Now when I open up the box, you'll notice all this inside is just the accessories that come with this machine. That's because, I'm going to let you into a little secret now, I've been using this machine a fair bit over the last few months. If you were at Waxstock this year, you may have had the chance to play with this machine because I had it on stand with me. Now I did of course transport it around in the official Batoca bag. Now inside the bag, all I have is the polisher itself and the 2 batteries. I didn't use any accessories that come with this machine. Now the bag that comes with this bundle, well, it isn't made of the best material, but it isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's gonna get you by for a short while, but I wouldn't trust it to keep the polisher safe if you're gonna be transporting it around a lot, because it is thin, it is slightly flimsy, and it adds no protection. So get yourself a decent bag if you want to protect your polisher to the max. Now let's get this box open and see what accessories this machine polisher bundle comes with. Now just like that Batoca S4, it comes with a little goodie bag that has inside a microfiber towel and a funky smelling air freshener. I'm not sure on this one, it says it smells like strawberries, but I'm getting a faint aroma of a bit of a dodgy plasticky smell to it. Now again, you've got the accessory card here that tells you which batteries go with which machines and what other batteries you can buy for each machine. Then you've got these dodgy, latexy, cheap pair of gloves. And again, last time I binned these off because they just felt so cheap and nasty, like they were going to break. As you can see, I tried these ones on, and as soon as I put them on, they've ripped straight where the thumb crease is. So again, the gloves that come with these kits, you might as well just pop them straight in the bin. Now this green microfiber towel, I've only got one of these unfortunately, but last time with the Batoca S4, they give me 2. And I actually quite like these, and they wash really, really well. It's actually quite a solid little microfiber towel. Now next up are 3 packs of these polishing pads that come with the machine. And of course you get a little bundle here with the manual in, and also you get this Allen key which will come in handy a little bit later on. I'll show you what for. And like I said, it does come with 3 packs of pads, and I have taken one out of this bundle just to test it. But all the pads in each pack are the same. You get these 2 orange pads, you get like a flat foamy one, and you also got this waffle pad, also like a wall pad. Now just like the other wall pads that come with the Batoca S4, I'm not a fan, they do molt, and before you pop it in the comments, the reason there's one missing out of the other packs is because I've taken one of these wool ones, I've washed it a few times, I've used it a few times, and just like the one I'm showing you here, it still molts, the fluff still just comes straight off of it. They're not great, I would just avoid these wall pads at all costs. Now the orange pads that it comes with, they kind of feel like a medium cut pad. They're both very, very similar in how they feel, just a different cut. Like I said, you've got this flat pad and you've also got this waffle pad, but other than that, they both feel like the exact same cut. They both feel like a medium cut pad. Now on to the batteries for this machine. Very much like the Batoca S4, you charge it with a little hole at the top. Now I don't have the charging cable to hand because, like I said, I've been using this machine, so I will just show you with the Batoca S4 how you plug it in. And it's as simple as just plugging that 12 volt adapter into the top of the battery and job done. Now if I compare this to the battery from the Batoca S4, you can see the Batoca S2 battery is a lot bigger compared to the S4. This is a 2500 milliamp hour battery, and the Batoca S2 has a 5000 milliamp hour battery. However, you can still see the Batoca S2 battery will fit on the Batoca S4, so if you've got both machines, the batteries are interchangeable. And of course, the bigger battery will last a lot longer on the S4 than the smaller battery will last on the S2. But as you can see, you can swap them around and they will work. Now, if we compare the S2 battery against the S4, they both feel exactly the same. They're both made from this sort of cheapy plasticky material, and they both just have that same sort of quality. When I say quality, they both feel a little bit flimsy. Now onto the polisher itself. Now if you've ever had the pleasure to play with a prototype polisher before a brand actually takes it on and has it in their own colours, that's what this feels like. The plastic on this feels really cheap, it feels really nasty, and it feels like a prototype machine. Now I do like the lizard on the side, it does make the machine stand out. But the plastic itself, again, does feel very, very cheap, and it does feel like a prototype machine that is sent out to a company to test before they actually have it made up in their own livery, or own colours, or own style. Now the on and off switch here does have this waterproof shielding cover over it, which with using this machine over the last few months does sometimes make it a little bit trickier to turn the machine on and off when you want to. Now going back to what that Allen key was for, and that is to change the backing plate of this machine. Now you're going to want to change the backing plate of this machine 100%. I find it cheap, I find it flimsy, and I find it feels just absolutely awful. And now you get the Allen key and you literally just pop it onto that bolt in the middle there. Undo it like so. Then you'd pop the new backing plate on and then just do it up nice and tight, and you're ready to go. Now again, you will want to change that backing plate. It does feel really, really cheap. It does feel nasty, and it does make the machine feel very, very unbalanced. And I don't think that backing plate will last very long. Now onto the display of the machine, which I quite like. Now this display gives you a live feed of what speed you're on. It also shows you your current battery level, and it also gives you a live reading of what RPM the backing plate is spinning at. Now I'm trying to show you here by slowing it down my hand. Hope you can see it there. The vibrations are a little bit much, but I'll try to show you again a little bit later on. But as you can see, it gives you a live reading of the RPM that your machine is spinning at, which I really quite like. For a machine that costs £80 to £90, I think that's quite smart. I quite like that. Let's see how well this machine actually performs when we are using it on a car.
Now before we jump in and start using this polisher, I just want to say, make sure to stay tuned to this channel, because over the next coming weeks, I will have another video coming out of another machine polisher, and this thing, well, you don't want to miss it. It is the ShineMate EB210. That thing is a beauty. But stay tuned to see how it performs. Now let's see how this one performs.
Now today I am using the Final Polish by Jake's Price. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend giving it a go. Now I'm using the flat foam pad to start off with. Now this machine does boast 60 watts of power from that 12 volt motor. It also says it has a speed range from 2000 RPM all the way up to 4500 RPM. And it's also guaranteed for up to 3 years. So at the moment, this is looking like a cracking little polisher, considering how cheap it is. Now I am struggling to see if that pad is stalling out, so I am going to put a few black lines down the side of the pad with a permanent marker, just to see how well this machine is performing, and to see if it stalls out when I add pressure or tilt the machine polisher at a different angle. Now you can see that on a lower speed it does stall out fairly easy when I do stop moving the machine about. When I pop this up to around about speed 3, you can see with the correct amount of pressure applied to the polisher, it isn't stalling out and it is doing just fine. Now the machine itself, I'm not going to lie, it does lack something and I can't quite work out what at this point, but it is working and it is doing the job absolutely fine. And again, you can see there is no stalling from this machine when I'm applying the correct amount of pressure. Now what about if I do want to push down the machine and give it a little bit of weight? Instantly you can see the machine starts to stall out. However, when I pop the speed up to speed 5, it starts to cope with it a little bit better until I start putting excess pressure on the machine. A lot more pressure than you'd want when you are polishing the surface of your vehicle. Now this just shows that the polisher can handle a little bit of pressure when you want it to. Now one thing I'm noticing right now is there are little black specks of something all over the vehicle. Now I'm not sure where they're coming from, whether they're coming from the polisher, out of the air, but I don't know if you can see those on my finger. That is not good. I don't know where they're coming from, but you don't want any sort of debris on your paintwork when you're polishing it. Now I've taken it all off and I'm just going to try one more time to see if it is coming from the polisher or somewhere else. Now I'm trying to recreate the conditions I had before. I am pushing down hard on the machine and thankfully I can't see any of those black bits popping up again. However, this is the perfect time to show you that live RPM display on this machine. You can see it's fluctuating when I apply less and more pressure to this machine. Now one comment I have seen about this polisher from people that have used it before is they say when they are polishing vertical surfaces, this polisher actually stalls out really easy. So let's try it. I am polishing the front wing of the Fiat. As you can see, it seems to be handling that quite well. However, if you don't hold that polisher straight and you do tilt it to a slight angle, or you do hit any of those body lines on the vehicle the wrong way, this machine does stop. However, as you can see, as long as you hold this polisher flat to the surface, you're not tilting it, or you're not working on those sharp edges, there doesn't actually seem to be any problem whatsoever. Now taking it to a flat door, again you can see the polisher is coping really well. However, now this is where I want to show you, if you start to tilt the polisher side to side or up and down, you can see instantly that polisher stalls out and it doesn't matter what speed you are on. And just to show you that isn't just this machine polisher, this is my cordless Sealy machine polisher. Now this is a 15mm throw compared to the 8mm throw that the Batoca is. This is a 15mm throw, but again, as soon as I start to tilt this one to the side, you can see this one also starts to stall out. However, using this polisher, it's made me realise what the other one is lacking in. Although it doesn't stall out, although it still spins, it just doesn't feel like it's got the torque or the power behind it that this machine itself does, and other machines I've used in the past. It just feels a lot more powerful, a lot more torquier, and the weight behind it just makes it feel a little bit more quality compared to that Batoca S4, which is very light, I must say. Now the pads that do come with the Batoca S2, well, as you can see, as I've tried to take it off of my Sealy, the Velcro on the back of this has grabbed hold of the pad. As I've started to pull the pad away, it just comes off in chunks. Now, I'm not sure whether it's the Velcro on the backing plate that's too strong or the pad itself being too flimsy. That Sealy is so much more heavier, even though the Batoca is a lot bigger. So if you are looking for a nice light cordless polisher, then this one could quite possibly be for you. Now one thing I have discovered here while I am going around the rest of the vehicle is again another issue with the build quality. There is no dampening between the body and the battery, and it vibrates like you wouldn't believe, and it just does my bloody head in. Now after around about an hour and 20 minutes of playing this machine polisher, it's died. Now they claim 2 hours battery life on this machine. Now I have been abusing this machine polisher, so it could last a little bit longer if used sensibly, but you can see, once I turn it on again, it just dies straight away. So there's no denying this battery is completely dead. So it's time to hear my final thoughts.
Now there we have it. Now before I carry on, please remember, this thing only costs £90. You're not going to become a worldwide hit detailer overnight with this machine. However, look at it this way. This is the equivalent of passing your test, getting yourself a £500 Nissan Micra and driving it around till you become more confident. You learn more skills, you get used to using it. And then you upgrade and you get yourself maybe, I don't know, a Focus RS. And then you start driving that and you get more used to that. And then, you know, you might upgrade to a Porsche, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. But what I'm trying to say is this thing is not going to be for you professional detailers out there that are already doing this daily. This is not going to be for you that if you're already polishing and you've already got, I don't know, one of those high-end red machines, you're probably not going to want this. Are you looking to start out polishing? Have you never touched a polish before? Are you just looking for a cheap cordless to stop your arm from aching when you're just giving it a quick polish over? This is less than probably 2 bagfuls of shopping from your local supermarket. £90. I cannot believe the price of this machine. Yes, it is not perfect. Yes, it comes with flaws. Yes, it isn't its little brother, the Batoca S4. That thing took a home run, knocked it out of the park. That thing is unbelievable for the price. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few months' time you start to see the price of that machine double because they've realised how good it actually is. But this machine, for £90, you can go wrong, but you can't go wrong. What I mean by that is if you are already experienced, you are already used to using other machines, and you know what you're doing, then you're probably going to get that and go, nah, not for me. If you're looking for your first cordless polisher, you're looking for your first polisher, again, or you're looking for something just to get that arm work made a little bit easier, £90, buy it, use it once, stick it in the cupboard, use it again in 6 months' time, stick it in the cupboard. You're not going to miss that £90 in the bank. And you're also not going to have a £500–600 dent in the bank where you've bought another machine polisher and then you've stuck that in the cupboard for a year at a time. And again, if you're starting out, if you're looking for your first ever polisher, you want to learn, then you're not going to do any real damage with that, and it's not going to break the bank if you decide it's not for you. Now, it does have its drawbacks, like the battery itself doesn't fit very well, and it does vibrate during use, which does my absolute bloody nut in. The plastic on it does feel cheap. It doesn't feel as nice. Again, I keep referring back to it as its little brother. This thing, before long, is going to have some sibling rivalry problems. This is going to be angry at its little brother. This is going to start beating its little brother up. However, the machine itself, again, doesn't feel high quality. It doesn't feel like, you know, it doesn't feel like a Rolls Royce. It feels like, I don't know, a Volkswagen Lupo from 2001. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't feel sturdy. It does feel like a good drop and you may snap something. So would I recommend buying this? It's a solid yes and no. Yes, because if you're looking for a cheap machine polisher, you're starting out, you want to learn, then it's a solid yes. If you're already skilled, you've already got machine polishers, even corded ones, and you've been doing it for a while and you're used to polishing, then I'd say a solid no. And there we have it, guys. I've been the Hairy Housewife. You guys have been great. Please make sure to go check out the Batoca S4 video, because honestly, that thing has blown me away.